a tougher loss. How would you describe the mood in the building as you turn the page and start getting ready for the Bears?
Mood in the building's fine. Yeah, of course. There's been some injuries. I think the mood everywhere else is like the sky's falling, but the mood internally is fine. I said it right after the game. I said, yeah, well, I'm sure everyone will say the sky's falling now, but no, the mood internally is fine. We refuse to use any of these injuries as an excuse, and we're going to be just fine. We've got all the pieces we need. Dan said it earlier. We got a ton of guys on defense. We're going to step up, create opportunities, and on offense, we're going to keep chugging along.
I don't know if you heard Dan was on our morning show and got the whole city fired up. It's gone viral. Is that the way he speaks to you?
It's the way he speaks to all of us. He's telling the truth. You know, there's no fault about it. He's being honest. He's being sincere. He's being genuine. And he's right. You know, if we reacted like everyone else outside of us, we'd have no chance.
You know, I know that Jared Goff hears stuff, and there are some talking heads saying the Lions are done. And I think there's some depressed fans who come from a loving place that think that they can't overcome these injuries. What do you say to those people who are just are depressed about everything that's happened to you guys?
What are they depressed about?
Well, that they're worried that the defense has lost too many guys. Now David Montgomery's out, and they just can they overcome all that?
Sure, yeah. I'm telling you right now, we can. Don't be depressed. We're fine. We're 12-2. We got 3 games ahead of us. We're in good shape.
Okay, Jahmyr Gibbs, obviously he's going to take on a heavier load. And there's a few things about this. One is he's one of the most explosive players in the league, without question. The questions are, can he handle the load? And what happens when defenses are only scheming against just Gibbs and not Montgomery? Those are some of the challenges you'll have with him moving forward.
Sure, yeah, he can handle the load. I mean, we'll have to spell him with somebody else, I'm sure, but he's one of the best backs in the league. I mean, I don't know what you mean. Like, yeah, he can handle the load. He'll be just fine. Obviously, losing David hurts, but we'll overcome it just like we've overcome everything else this year.
In short yardage situations, would it be premature to think that the kid, Vaki, who seems like a bowling ball, would be a good guy to take Montgomery's spot in those situations because he seems very difficult to bring down?
Yeah, or we just put it on my back. I'll just QB sneak everything. How about that?
Well, yeah, when it's real short, there are times I'm sitting in the press box, just sneak it yourself, and you've been pretty successful at that.
Yeah, I got a pretty high batting average on that, so maybe we'll just do that, or maybe I'll line up back there. Who knows?
What about Craig Reynolds? He hasn't had they haven't had an emergency break glass situation, but we've seen him in the past do some good things. For his career, he averages over 4 yards a carry. What does Craig bring to the table?
Craig's been a stud, yeah. Ever since he's gotten here, he's filled in when needed and done a great job. Had a nice touchdown last year in the playoff game. He's played great in certain moments for us, and a guy that we trust tremendously. And if his number's called, I know he'll be ready.
When you watch what you saw across the field on Sunday, you had a great game, obviously, 5 touchdown passes. Is Josh Allen playing at a different level right now the last month since they beat Kansas City?
Yeah, what he's doing right now is pretty special. It is pretty tremendous, and I think even the plays that you thought were going to be negative plays, he was able to make something happen, and it's tough to stop. And certainly he showed that against us, showed it the week before, and like you said, the last month, and he's playing some good ball.
Do you have that chest pass touchdown that in your repertoire? Now theirs didn't count, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't count. You know, I told him after the game, so you don't got to go chest pass on us, but I'm glad they called that one back.
Dan Skipper, great play, but I want to talk a little bit about yards after catch. He not only reels in the ball, turns upfield, good ball security, puts his shoulder down and gets into the end zone. Evaluate Dan Skipper on that play for us.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was cool to see him score there, and like you said, lower his shoulder on the guy. You know, I don't know if he had to do that, but he kind of craves contact and go ahead and dropped his shoulder on the defensive back there and finished it in.
When you look at what you have this week, the Chicago Bears, even though their record stinks, they haven't won in it seems like 2 years. I mean, they're in a big losing streak. They looked bad last night. They play you guys really, really tough. What concerns you about them going forward?
Yeah, they're a good team. They've played us tough, like you said, in the past. And I think last year, we didn't win in Chicago, so that's something that we'd like to get checked off our list this year. And they're a great team. They're got really good players on defense. They're playing with a little bit more life now, and They're doing a lot of stuff that's good, and I know they got beat last night, but I'm sure they'll be ready to play for us.
Do you try to scheme yourselves away from Jalen Jackson, who seems to be one of those really, really good cover guys?
Jalen Johnson, he's a great player. No, that's all right. He's a good player. I scheme away from him. I don't know if that's really the answer. You're just aware of where he's at. Mm-hmm. He is a good player. He is jumpy. He has gotten the ball from me a couple times, so I'm certainly aware of him. But I don't know if scheming away from him is really the answer.
You guys really did move the ball against Chicago the first time, just weren't sticking it in the end zone. Is that game film particularly useful to go back and say, okay, here's what we need to do different, or was it just one of those days?
Yeah, it was just kind of one of those days. But sure, yeah, I think you go back and you look at it and you take it with a grain of salt because I'm sure they're going to do something a bit different, and we're going to do something a bit different. So you try to play that chess game in your mind of what they're going to do, what you want to counter it with, and we'll have answers for everything. But yeah, certainly if we were able to finish in the red zone that game, it would have probably been a little bit of a bigger margin of victory.